Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. This is our Libra new moon reading. It will cover a period of today, September 28th, through October 12th. It's exactly 11 p.m. I don't know why I waited so long. I apologize for being late, but I'm going to get this reading to you as soon as I can. Quickly, let's go over what other transits will occur during this period. On October 3rd, we got a couple. 2:39 a.m. Pluto goes direct finally. Pluto, the ruler of the sign of Scorpio, which has been retrograde in Capricorn for some time, I think since like April, finally goes direct, 20 degrees, 38, 11, 11, right? 20 and 38. Also on October 3rd at 4:14 a.m., Mercury enters Scorpio. So this week, for a couple of days, like I said, it is in Libra, along with Venus and the Sun and the Moon. But next week, on the 3rd, Mercury does leave and goes into Scorpio. First thing in the morning, 4:14. The following day, October 4th, at 12:22 a.m., Mars enters Libra. So Venus won't be alone too long. Mercury's out, Mars is in. And Mars is actually her counterpart. So, we'll see how that goes. That's her masculine. Then October 8th at 1:06 p.m., Venus herself leaves. Now, she's actually the ruler of Libra, so she's very at home there. But she's going to be leaving, checking out, and moving on into Scorpio. And that takes us all the way through. Lastly, October 13th at 5:08 p.m., the full moon in Aries occurs. And that is when I'll be doing another reading. So that's all we have. Also, I've been mentioning it, I think, in my readings, and I'll talk about it at length to an extent in the general reading. But today, or tomorrow, rather, September 29th, is the Hebrew or Jewish feast day of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. It is a spiritual, celestial, and just celebratory event, because it goes according to the moon. So it is connected to the fact that, the new moon is occurring also. But it is attached also to the religion and the practice of Judaism, because unlike Christianity, Judaism, they do go all the way back to Lilith, and you can still find traces of her, although they've pulled out some books just like Christianity did. But with Rosh Hashanah, not only was Moses told to practice it in a particular way, recognize it as the head of months, that's why it's the new year, but also it's recognized as the day like God started over. So let me start off new too, right? And out with Lilith and in with Eve. It's like a celebration of the anniversary of the creation of, Adam and Eve as a couple. And, here we are, allegedly, supposedly. Some may believe. I don't want to, make a mockery of it or joke, but that's the belief system. So that holiday is not just like a new year as we celebrated, as a country here in America, for example, where it has no religious connotations or anything like that. In this case, it does. And again, it's connected to the celestial system as well, because the new moon has bearing on it. It is also a Christian feast day, the 29th. It's the feast day of Michaelmas, which is a celebration and honoring the three top archangels, Michael, of course, being number one, and it also recognizes Gabriel and Raphael. Gabriel, the messenger, and Raphael, the healer. Speaking of healers, one thing I didn't mention, my own feelings about this Libra moon. It is going to be everything Venus is. So about us like recognizing beauty in all forms and ways and seeking balance. When I say all forms and ways, I mean like not only superficial. Seeing beauty in someone that, others or society may deem is too short, too tall, too light, too dark, whatever, we can still find the beauty. We're going beneath the surface. Also confidence, balance, healing. And then speaking of healing, this new moon will sort of be sitting directly opposite Chiron, the asteroid Chiron, the wounded healer, which is still in retrograde in Aries, remains there until December. We have to contend with that. But, you know, being opposite the wounded healer and being about healing itself, this new moon, I think is just going to intensify that. So everybody, you know, or a lot of us, if you allow the energy in, just feeling really good about ourselves, despite maybe not being able to check off all the boxes that, you know, the world would have you check off. Like I still feel good about myself anyway. And sort of being honest with self too, that maybe some of the things I'm not happy with are kind of self-imposed and my fault, or at least to the extent that I could have fixed them and I haven't. I've just let them get out of hand. And so now I'm recognizing that, I'm taking responsibility, and I'm going to do something about it. So that said, let's see what the cards say to support or maybe even dispute that. I don't think so, but maybe. That's what I'm getting, what I'm feeling. Let's see if the cards support my feelings. So far so good. I'm beginning with the Four of Cups in the Rider-Waite Tarot in reverse. And the Four of Cups is one of those cards that's sort of about being tired of feeling down and out, and beginning to recognize that, yeah, some of this stuff where I'm feeling down and out, or things that I'm upset about, or that I feel that I've been going through, are my fault. Maybe they didn't start at my fault, but at this point it's my fault because I've allowed it to continue. I've stayed in this rut. So it's about breaking free from like, oh, woe is me kind of energy. Oh, if only this, if only that, right? If only I had more money, if only I were prettier, if only I were thinner, if only I were heavier, if only my ass wasn't so flat, if only, you know, whatever, all these foolish things that humans get caught up in, and that we use ultimately as excuses. Stopping that, ceasing to do that, cutting out the, oh, woe is me, and deciding what can I do about it. I've done recently, some of you may have seen, hopefully as many of you as possible have seen, that I did some astrological bi-weekly readings lately. And a couple of the signs, this sort of energy came up like specifically for them. I think one of which is Aquarius. And sure enough, right behind this Four of Cups in reverse is the King of Swords. Aquarius, Libra, where this moon is, and Gemini, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. But the King of Swords is like this no-nonsense kind of guy. So he might be like, you know, like, I'm over the foolery. I'm over the, you know, the BS, and I'm ready to take ownership of some stuff. And he is somebody who can look at like all the perspectives and be very diplomatic and fair, like the Libra moon, you know, wants us to be, and again, take ownership over what he should. Now, also behind that, more air upright, in its major arcana card 1, the Magician, which represents the sign of Gemini, and being in a position to sort of make whatever we want, you know, our dreams come true. Our thoughts become our reality. The Magician knows that all too well and uses it to the positive, like we all should, right? Taking positive thought, positive words that we think, we speak over our lives, putting them into action, putting action behind them, and manifesting what we want. Law of attraction. So the Magician comes through with that. You know, so instead of, oh, what was, if only I earned more money, then let's start to manifest more money. Let's manifest a job, you know, where that pays more, or let's manifest an opportunity to, you know, run my own business or something like that. And sometimes people manifest, you know, lotto tickets and winnings and stuff too. There's all kinds of things going on. Depends how much faith and work is attached to our focused intention and how well we hold on to that intention. But this is what we're doing this week. Speaking of that, some of us may have, you know, deceased loved ones sort of helping us to do these things, guiding us toward what we should be working on and, you know, what we should be doing. You have the natural ability to connect with departed loved ones. And if you feel them, or hear them or see them talking to you, stop and listen and try to follow that guidance. Butterfly deck, I'm beginning with body changes. And, oh, okay, underneath this one is family changes. I was going to say, I had no idea, I promise you. But I was going to say, For some of us, this is literal, and it could be things like pregnancy, or again, maybe we're trying to lose weight. Maybe we're trying to gain weight, you know. Maybe we're working on a particular area. It's hard to do that, but it's not impossible, right? To focus on a particular area, especially if you're not talking about losing weight. If you're talking about building up something, we can focus on a particular area and try to get it the way we want it, or, you know, to the best of our ability. So all those things can be body changes. But also, you see this butterfly here. He has shed his skin. So it's also about transition and metamorphosis and growth. And although I promise you, I did not know family changes was behind body changes, you know, to sort of support my thought that pregnancy may be involved, I only picked it up and looked because I had done that with the other cards. And I'm like, all right, because I had this one like in an awkward place, I picked up the whole deck, but let's see what's behind this too. So that's how that came about. Hashtag creepy deck. Blonde female, which for me is the representation of the divine feminine in this deck. It's sort of like, well, first of all, she's not a blonde female, she's a redhead. So it's sort of like a modern day, more youthful and cool Queen of Wands, which in the traditional tarot represents the divine feminine. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries also may be connected to this energy. From the Abundance Oracle, it's safe for you to receive. That's what Venus is about too, right? The balance, and Libra, the balance. That we need to both be able to give and receive in, you know, tandem. And love has to be able to pass both ways to function in a healthy way. The more you allow yourself to receive, the more resources you have available to share with others. Open your arms to receive and to be a conduit for good coming to you and through you as it blesses the world. In your relationships, romantic in particular, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking, which the Magician again is capable of, and also faith. What are you putting behind that intention is what's going to bring you romance. Also behind that is religious factors. So some particular ideology in which you believe may be attached to it, may be impacting you, affecting you. Also the religious factor, it could be, it could go toward the sanctity and sacredness or not of the relationship. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and your spiritual path. I'm going to ask that y'all pardon my nails. First of all, the universe is sort of is chastising me because I have a habit, a ritual even, you could say, of getting my nails done on or for the new or full moon. And today I didn't, and I almost got into a fight. I'm very 0 to 100 real quick. Like, don't let the incense and whatnot fool you. But I didn't. I'm very, like, I'm highly blessed and favored. I really, really am. And like super, super protected. So it's like the universe is like, cut it out, Mariama. And so I just, in this case, on this hand, broke a nail. And on this case, like almost did. So I just had like a little blood and whatnot. Then I got pulled over. And the cops said that my lights were doing crazy things. My brake light, like if I put my foot on, the light was going on. It was going off with my foot off. The lights were like blinking. All kinds of whatnot was happening. No ticket, no nothing. He was just like, I just wanted to tell you, and go up. That's how protected I am. So I definitely take it as like negative energy and stuff that was being hurled at me, but I just like repel it so much. But in terms of this, the universe was like, well, I am going to let you take that because you were supposed to have gone to the nail salon today. So all that said, I asked you guys to please pardon me, excuse my nails. So we are going to begin. I'm going to do 2 spreads, one with the butterfly deck and one with the romance angel. So one general essentially and one love. And the other decks I have here will just be, they'll serve as oracle guidance, additional messages. And I already have those pulled, although I did not look at them. I won't look at them until you guys look at them. When I show them to you, that's when I'm going to look at them. All right. So again, body changes. Divine being or couple. Recent past. near future. Masculine's higher self. Blocks to individual or shared progress, including union. Union with air quotes because, 3D union, not necessarily what, the universe or God has planned for us. And that's the cross. What the feminine can do to help herself. What the masculine can. What the universe would have each or both do, and even wants to help them, us with, but we have to first affirm, because you have to permit yourself to be helped. You have to ask the universe or God for help, and then allow yourself to receive the help, because we have free will, right? And the outcome. Then the overall energy is body changes. Divine being or couple. New career. So this Four of Cups in reverse can go toward that too. It has to do with you just feeling, again, like you've been stuck in this job, and why? It's been a dead-end job. It's been a dead-end job, but you stayed there. And so now it's on you to relieve yourself of that situation and to look for something new. You recognize that it's time to move on. If career is a metaphor for something else, sometimes for me it's even like love and romance. Like, you call your man your boss. Maybe some people call their woman their boss too. I don't know. But I know it's done with a man. And so I see that like a new career too, sometimes a new relationship. But anything... it's like a brand new practice would apply, I feel. And I'm probably all being brought on again by this Four of Cups in reverse kind of energy. Recent past. Heavenly signs. Maybe something, shook you up and said, listen, it's time to get moving, right? That's what the Four of Cups in reverse is. I'm glad I thought about that. I'm glad I got a heavenly sign. Get moving. It's time to get moving and do something about whatever your issue is. You get to decide what the issue is. So we might have been recently begun to receive some signs, and that's why we're getting moving. Near future. Relationship dynamics. Now again, for some, this could be even romantic, but relationship dynamics can talk about a work relationship, friends, familial relationship, romantic, combinations of those. And so just a dynamic is changing because, again, we're being guided to make a change, and we're paying attention now because we're tired of the way things were, especially now that we've realized we have some control in this. Because, again, our thoughts and words, they become our reality. So that means it's in part in my control, right? If my thoughts become my reality, it's in part in my control. Yes, we have free will, as I mentioned. So it's to an extent, right? There is karma at play in different things, and there's going to be stuff that we can't do anything about. But largely, we have control over what happens to us. Masculine, or what we happen to. Masculine's higher self. New exercise program. With an overall energy of body changes, of course, for some of us, this is absolutely literal, But for others, it can be spiritual, it could be emotional. We're exercising a new practice. So it's a new ideology, it's a new belief system, it's a new spiritual practice specifically. Maybe yoga. That sort of encompasses all of that, right? It's spiritual and it's exercise. Blocks to individual or shared progress over these next 2 weeks. Hobbies. Because we haven't in the past been working on our own things and what we're into. But now we see clear signs that that's changing. So now we are going to focus on our hobbies. And what am I good at? What's my talent? And how can I parlay it into something else? Right? Maybe that can be my new career too. That actually came up in one of the zodiac readings as well. I think Aquarius maybe. Oh, that's what I said about the other thing too, right? Yeah, I think a lot of the Aquarius reading is showing up here. And maybe that's why the King of Swords is also behind this Four of Cups. What the feminine can do to help herself, though, right? Despite the blocks, what can we do to help ourselves? Decisions. You have to decide, again, what you're willing to do to change what it is you are willing to focus in your life that needs work. That's the decision. For some, it directly, again, has to do with a relationship. And not only a relationship, the dynamic of the relationship. Maybe, who is the boss and the subordinate? Or are we equals? Like, what's the dynamic? What the masculine can do to help himself. Motivation. You needed something to get you moving. It crosses the heavenly signs. Again, that's why we're getting moving now. We're getting started on something. And you can continue to pay attention to these and to, consider yourself and what you're into or not, to further motivate you. And what the universe would have each or both of us do, and even wants to help us with, just wants to give us support. So it's like, again, the decision and stuff is up to you. And largely what happens to us or what we happen to is also up to us. And the universe just wants to make it that much better by supporting us. And all we got to do is ask. And the outcome. Volunteer. Volunteer is about willingly changing for me. Willingly moving forward. Willingly progressing. And deciding not to be stuck anymore. Right? So going willingly. I volunteer to take the next step in my life. That's all. I'm going to do a love spread. And I was going to take these up, but I just decided, let me leave them there. And they may even give us like joint messages. They may not, but it's worth a shot. And the overall energy here is stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Divine being or couple, very soon, maybe new career coming. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. And it's crossing that decision card. Recent past, atop heavenly signs. Reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. So if this hasn't happened to you already and you are in separation, I'd say over the period of the next 2 weeks, it will come, because what it would mean is that in the recent past, there's been motivation, right? It's been initiated. The energy's been initiated to get moving. And so this is coming. And look what's cool about this is this heavenly signs card is like, like you're in the sky, the clouds. It gives me that kind of feel. And then this one is also this couple in the clouds, in the heavens. So I think those definitely were meant to be joined for a message. Near future, atop relationship dynamics. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. That could definitely go toward relationship dynamics. So they may be connected as well. Masculine's higher self, a top new exercise program. Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So, right. Why not try something new? Exercise a new process and go ahead and look deeper into what it is you're feeling. And maybe the other person's feeling the same thing. Because I do also feel that largely it is the masculine who's being pushed out. And I don't want to seem like we're perfect and we don't need any growth or movement. I don't mean that at all, because we got plenty of room for all of it. I just feel a push for the masculine, like more so maybe him than the feminine has in the past while he may have appeared to be like living it up and living the life, has been like putting on a show. It's like a veil and being phony and really not doing what he wants to do. So maybe not being in the job he wants to do, not earning the type of money he wants to earn, not being with the partner he's really interested in. Like it's all been fake is what I'm getting. Yeah, and I'm not sure that may have something to do with forgiving and learning. Like, I'm sorry that I put on this front and I ignored you. Maybe I ignored our relationship and I pretended, to be more concerned with work or another relationship or whatever it is. And maybe I ignored you. Maybe I left you. That's why we got to reconcile. I'm just getting a bunch of romantic feelings all at once now. So I think, again, very soon, if we decide, masculine or feminine, but maybe particular right now in the masculine while I'm having this train of thought, masculine decides, I'm done with the fake life. I'm done pretending. I'm done ignoring my feelings. I'm done acting like I'm interested in this other thing, person, place, or thing, when I'm really interested in that person, place, or thing. And so, again, the energy of the King of Swords shows up because he's all about truth, right? And honor and integrity, not being fake at all. And maybe because so much has transpired, we're not sure how we can bring about what we want. The magician shows up to say, this is how, I'm how, I got you, I know how to, I'll show you how to do it. Blocks to individual or shared progress, other than all that stuff that just came out of my mouth. What was it, hobbies? Yes. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. I do think it's not only cute, but also interesting that this make the effort card, similar to the reconciliation card being in the clouds and the picture associated being of that same like sky blue hue and everything. This one, the people surrounded by flowers, and the same thing, this butterfly surrounded by flowers in this card. Make the effort. So hobbies in that sense could mean too, like you allowed yourself in the past to be distracted by something else, whether it was your hobby or whatever else you were into. And now maybe putting down that block of this other thing I was pretending to be into or that I was into, and instead making the effort toward what I'm really interested in. What the feminine can do to help herself, in addition to making the effort where maybe she didn't in the past. The top decisions. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. I think this is about the feminine being able to take care of herself. And it's called finances and career, and it's sitting here under new career. Not only that, it just gives me a very earth energy feel, and it's attached to a card that's mostly green. So it could possibly involve a direct earth sign is what I'm feeling, of course. Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus. And in the Taurus video, both Taurus and Virgo, the astrological readings that I did had a lot to do with finance and career. In the case of Taurus, them sort of newly having discovered their worth. And what I saw in the cards was that they were supposed to go after it. So that could be showing up here for some of you too. Like it's time to demand your worth. If they're giving you a raise, I want X amount of dollars. You're hiring me for a job. This is when they say, what kind of salary range are you looking for? Be fair with yourself, right? So maintain your integrity. Don't try to rip people off, but don't lowball yourself either. That came up also for Virgo. It was a very Four of Cups kind of thing. Like, oh, I'm realizing all these things about myself. I'm recognizing that I had undervalued myself. So Virgo really beginning to come up and recognize their worth. And I think that that's greatly what this is about. And then maybe similar to how I felt that some of these other things with the motivation and making a move toward new may be more heavily masculine. I'm just feeling that this may be more heavily feminine, but of course it could go either way. The masculine and feminine, they are archetypes. It has nothing to do with gender, has nothing to do with sexuality, you know, so it's just which archetype are we more, you know, to which do we more lean, masculine or feminine? If you feel all of the above, both, you know, then maybe you resonate with all the advice and all the things that I'm saying. Don't worry about it. It's not that serious. I'm just giving, you know, like a description of, for the majority, to whom what may apply. That's all. So again, that's what the feminine can do to help. This is the feminine placement anyway. So what the masculine can do to help himself, a top motivation is pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. The signs. Remember what it's crossing here? What's under here? The reconciliation? Heavenly signs. That's what's cautioning you. Those are the red flags. So pay attention to those heavenly signs. And some of you, again, are going to be receiving them in the form of mediumship. And maybe you didn't know that that was like a gift or something that you could do. And perhaps typically it isn't, but maybe it's heightened right now, because I do feel a lot of Pisces influence for whatever reason. And Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, is currently retrograde still in the sign of Pisces. So that may be it. I don't know if there are any transits in particular coming up or whatever, but I just feel very heavily Pisces influenced here right now. So that's maybe from where the mediumship is coming. In any case, we have it. From wherever it's coming, we have it right now. So use it. And, you know, pay attention to the signs. That's your guide. That's what the masculine can do to help himself. What the universe would have, you know, each archetype, feminine and masculine alike, do to help themselves, or both to do. And even wants to help us with. The universe wants to get involved in this one. But we have to affirm first, because we have free will. It is the fact that we deserve love. You are lovable. So the universe wants to help us by opening us up to love, or supporting us in opening ourselves up to love. And here we have this very Sagittarius energy. And I am getting that something initiated now maybe could become really hot. It's a fire sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign. Really hot within the next month or so. Sagittarius season is on the end, begins the end of December. The end of November, rather. So you figure about a month and a half. And not only that, we have the you deserve love crossing the reconciliation. So it's like, you deserve love, so I'm sending somebody back into your life about whom you've had romantic feelings. Now it's on you to explore them. So maybe now we do the exploring, and again, within the next month or two, things really, really heat up, if you know what I mean. And the outcome atop, what was the card? Volunteer, right? Go willingly, do it willingly on your own. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Well, I said go willingly. For some, this is connected to what we need to leave. So it's like volunteer, again, willingly just do it. Up and leave the job, the living condition, the relationship, whatever it is. Codependency is about toxicity. It's about fear, ego, negative cords of attachment, negative emotions like regret, resentment, guilt, and things that we need to release. Sometimes actual substance abuse is involved, drugs, alcohol, cigarettes. A lot of us working on getting rid of those things, and to do that voluntarily too. Like volunteer, check yourself into rehab. You yourself try to go cold turkey, or volunteer to get on the patch, or whatever it is you think may help you. methadone or Chantix, what's it called, with the cigarettes and stuff like that. Somebody has a serious, what's that other thing that's not smoking a cigarette? Not weed, that's not what I'm talking about. Oh, the vape. The vape. Somebody has a serious addiction to that, and it's affecting them too. But I'm also going to pull the next upright card from here. I have no idea what it is any more than you do, and see if it can give us further clarity about the codependency in the general sense, like for the most part, for the majority again. So this is the next upright card. This one was upside down, and it is getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So this could be attached to fear, all right? I said codependency could be fear. It could be like maybe you had a negative situation in the past or hurt or whatever. This is the stuff, again, this is telling us we're ready to let go of the past and to move on to it. All our ghosts and skeletons, all that kind of foolishness. Maybe that's why we're being guided to get to know each other and to share and to be honest. Again, the King of Swords is right behind here too. He's all about integrity and, no nonsense. And keeping it 100 and getting rid of the bullshit. So that's what that's about. The next one is upright, so I'll be greedy and pull it also. Let go of control issues. So if you're trying to control the situation, fake the situation, you're wearing a mask, you're hiding behind a veil, none of that works. Let go of control issues and allow instead the situation to unfold naturally. And one more. I usually should quit before quit while I'm ahead, but I push it. That's my Gemini nature. Children, your love life is being affected by children. So in some cases, this is what this is attached to. And the codependency, I think, could be having something to do with an ex, maybe the other parent of your children. That may be the toxic situation that from your past, or maybe to which you still have negative cords of attachment that's happened, that you're dealing with now, that's affecting your love life in your present. Whether you're in a relationship or even if you're single, like your ability to meet people and to start a new relationship is affected by this. For those who don't actually have children, the children represent other newness, other new starts, whatever has been keeping us, whatever fear or whatever, fear, addiction to something, keeping us from starting something new, from voluntarily moving forward in our life is what's coming up here and being represented by the children. And the next card is upside down, so there I will stop. Further to all of that, from the Rider-Waite Tarot to the masculine, the Four of Swords in reverse. Somebody is extremely tired, worn out, in every sense of the word, emotionally exhausted, maybe spiritually exhausted. Maybe you do need to do some yoga, new exercise program, meditation. Get some actual rest. The Four of Swords is about rest and recovery, but you're just tired of, again, the bullshit, I think, for the most part. For some, it could be literal. You need some sleep, and that's easily rectified, right? Get in the bed and go to sleep. But I think for the most part, this is about being exhausted in another sense, right? It's a metaphor. That's masculine. Maybe being tired, again, of wearing the mask and being phony and being fake. And so you want to change. You want to move on from that. Feminine. The Sun in reverse. Major Arcana card, the Sun. Guess what sign the Sun represents in the tarot? Sagittarius. So again, first of all, I think that it's connected to, again, something really heating up during Sagittarius season. Something that starts now. But in addition to that, the Sun in reverse is, it's still the Sun. It's very much like the Sun upright. The thing is, where it comes to clarity and how the Sun shows up and illuminates everything and makes it clear, it's not as clear when the Sun's in reverse, and you may have to do some work. You may have to volunteer to do some of the research and digging and stuff yourself, the clarifying yourself, and you have to do some introspection, go within, to figure out, more of the picture. But things do come to light when the Sun is in reverse, and things tend to end well or go well when the Sun shows up. The Sun just makes everything better. Yeah. So the only difference, again, between the Sun in reverse and the Sun upright, for me, is both are freeing. Both are illuminating, but the reverse one is not as strong. Right? It doesn't give you as much, and you may have to do a little work for more. From the butterfly oracle to the masculine, moving. Didn't I say you had to get moving? Now, for some, this is literal. You're even in a living condition that you're not happy with, and maybe it has to do with romantic dynamic, relationship dynamics. You might have to do with that. You're moving towards somebody new, or towards something new, or away from something, whatever. Moving. Very Eight of Cups kind of card. Can be literal or metaphoric. But I'm pretty sure I use the actual words. It's time to get moving for the masculine. So they agree with me, it seems. Feminine, for us, realizations and epiphanies. So again, with the sun in reverse, yeah, that's happening. We're coming into some sort of knowledge, some sort of clarity. Something's going to be illumined. It just may not be as clear as it would have been were the sun upright. So we have the realization, we have the epiphany, and we may need to still put a little bit more effort behind that to get further clarity. Okay, I've had this, like I do this all the time, right? I have a vision. And sometimes, this used to be really scary. Maybe like 2014, 2015, before I was on YouTube even, I was so empathic that I would have these visions of like lynchings and whatnot, and it would be so scary because you don't know, like, is the universe trying to tell me something's gonna happen to me or my family or whatever, right? At that time, when you don't know how to differentiate your own stuff from what's happening with somebody else or what you're being shown about somebody else. And so I got into this habit from then of Googling what I saw and learning that what I was seeing were lynchings that occurred like in the past. Now, maybe I was alive for some of them in a past life or something, and maybe that's what was coming back to me. But for whatever reason, I was being shown these things. So I have the realization and epiphany, but I had to take it the next step. I had to do some work to get fuller clarity about what it was I was seeing. Otherwise, I didn't know. And so now to this day, I don't have that problem anymore because now I know, okay, that's not my life. That's somebody else's life. Now I can differentiate that. But I still have these things where I have a vision and I say, oh, is that true? Oh, for example, okay, I'm a different one, a more modern one. Last week I had the thoughts and the vision about the sacral chakra and child abuse and sexual trauma and people being blocked. And so I literally Googled like sexual abuse, Jupiter square Neptune, something like that. And that's how it came up. So I had the epiphany, I had the realization, and then I had to volunteer to do the work to find out more. And so that's what I see for you guys too. From the romance angels to the masculine. Deception. Told you. Yeah, this is you. It says someone is wearing a false self-mask in the relationship. It's you. Now, in the case of some people, may it also be somebody else, Sure, but I think it's you too. Even in those cases, I think it's also you. So it's time to be honest with yourself about the people, places, and things in your life that you truly need and or want. And when it comes to looking in the past and revisiting situations from our past, because it's time to pretty much let that stuff go. If we decide that one of the people, places, or things that we want is from our past, what we need to do here is bring it into our future and take it forward, get moving on that, moving forward with that person, place, or thing in a new way, and not living in the past anymore. Whatever you want to do, it's time to get to end the situation where you were living in the past. So we're moving on from that too. Feminine, for us from the relationship oracle, is true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. And coupled with the other cards that you've gotten so far, that we've gotten so far, that could definitely be the case. You know, with the sun, everything's awesome. And this it may be a fire sign, a true fire sign, and maybe more specifically a Sagittarius. The Prince of Wands, right? Prince Charming. Boom. From the Abundance Oracle to the Masculine, it is partnership. Allow helpful, supportive partnership into your personal life and your career. This totally speaks about all the stuff we've seen, right? Totally resonates. Both parties will benefit as a result. You're receiving help from heaven. I couldn't make this up or pull. I couldn't have pulled these cards in if I wanted to, like to have it play out the way it did. You're receiving this information from heaven, right? Remember your the signs, masculine for you. So heaven is here helping you. And you may be receiving help from a person who brings much needed skills and resources, albeit that person may be deceased. They're not deceased. It might be somebody with whom you're connected telepathically or something. And they're helping you as well. It may be the partner, maybe your actual partner. Soulmate relationships, you know, twin flame relationships. The connection is such that we can often communicate without words. You know what I mean? Abundance to the... I talked about discovering our worth and wanting to move forward past the time when we didn't think much of ourselves. And that's going to be heavily for us, feminine. You are a beloved child of God like everyone else, and you deserve to receive the support that will allow you to focus upon your divine life purpose. Even if you can't recognize your lovable qualities, trust that God and the angels can see how amazing you truly are. From what I call the hashtag creepy deck to the masculine, it is gifts. Masculine, you're probably getting some sort of surprise. Even if it's in an energy of surprise, maybe again, movement in your partnerships, movement, success in pulling off your mask. And for some, there may be an actual gift. Maybe somebody celebrated a birthday. Any Libras celebrating a birthday during this period, happy birthday. Spiritual gifts also. I just talked about the mediumship. That comes into play with the gifts. Hashtag creepy deck. To the feminine, past love. Past love has more than one meaning for me. It can have to do again with a love from the past, something of which we need to let go, whether it's our past here or past lifetime or both. And for some, it's because, you know, that love from the past is still our love now, and that's something that's returning to us according to the heart of this cross here, right? Dead center of the cross is reconciliation. So, yeah, it's connected there for the feminine with the past love. And again, that person, you know, it's true love, the romance of a lifetime. From the angel therapy cards to the masculine, vacuum away fear. Yeah, get rid of the fear. That's going to allow you to face whatever this is. This deception. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to other people. Call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael. And what a time to call upon them. I told you in the beginning of the reading that tomorrow is a celebration of them, plus Gabriel. So call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, from your surroundings, this situation, and everyone involved. That's going to help you move forward. And you might as well call on Gabriel too and ask him to help you with the words you need in order to have a legit, genuine conversation with somebody, even if that somebody is yourself, right? To say, then make some changes. And lastly, for the feminine, power animal. Your animal spirit guide is a guardian to you and is helping you with this situation. Now, animal spirit guide, I explained in one of the readings recently, the astrological readings, I think it may have been Libra, actually, is not just about like, oh, my favorite animal is this, my favorite animal is that, which is awesome to be an animal lover. You know, I am too, and I think many of us are. But the power animal is really something that goes, to Native American culture and belief, and is about, it's really embodying the power of a given animal. And I used the example in whatever reading that was, that I was doing, of that song, Eye of the Tiger. And it's where you're really taking on this animal's strength and fortitude and traits, and really making them come to life. So for me, I surround myself with power animals. I got a butterfly here, for example. I'm all about constant metamorphosis and evolution and transition. And I feel like if we cease to do that, then we're dead. I have no problem entering a phase as a caterpillar and emerging as a butterfly. I have my eagle feathers around me. I soar above. It's above me. Now, I'm above you. Yes, I raise above the bullshit. I rise above it. I try to catch myself. And so that's what I mean by power animal. You have one too. And, discover what it is. Pay attention. Watch the signs if you don't know. And use the power from within that it assists you with to help you to move forward. I hope you guys have enjoyed this Libra new moon reading. I'll still be back. I'll be back a lot of times this weekend. I got to come back with the love reading. I got to come back with the general reading. And we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing. Information about me will be in the description. I appreciate you giving me a thumbs up. Namaste.